A winter storm howled outside the hospital windows the night everything changed. A billionaire CEO, known for his cold heart, colder decisions, and a life untouched by love, found himself standing beside a man he had never met before, a tired, broke black single father begging doctors to save his dying little girl. And when their worlds collided, neither of them knew that one miracle would tie their lives together forever, but for reasons neither could imagine. Darius Cole had spent the whole day running between his two jobs, hands cracked from washing dishes and arms sore from hauling construction boxes. But nothing hurt the way watching his 8-year-old daughter, Amira, struggle to breathe did. She was his everything, his joy, his reason, the last piece of her mother he had left. When the doctor told him her heart condition had worsened and the surgery cost had risen again, Darius felt the floor under him collapse. His insurance barely covered half, and even after selling his car, taking loans, and praying through sleepless nights, the numbers still didn't add up. He stood in the hallway gripping the medical bill in trembling hands, whispering, "Baby, I'm trying. I'm trying so hard." That was when Ethan Thorne walked in the coldest man in the city, billionaire CEO of Thorntech, a man newspapers called the iceberg with a heartbeat. He had only come for a board meeting with the hospital executives, but something made him pause when he saw the broken father with tears he wasn't letting fall. Ethan didn't believe in fate, but something in Darius's voice pulled him like a magnet. He approached quietly, asking if everything was all right. Darius wanted to lie, to protect his pride, but desperation broke him open. "My daughter's dying," he whispered. "And I can't save her." Ethan had money, power, and influence, things he never used for emotional reasons. Yet one look at the little girl fighting for life behind that glass window sparked something he hadn't felt in years, a crack in the stone wall around his heart. Before he knew it, he was signing forms, guaranteeing the full payment for Amira's surgery. Doctors rushed into action, and Darius collapsed to his knees, sobbing into his hands while Ethan stood behind him, unsure why he stayed, only knowing he couldn't walk away. Hours later, when the surgery succeeded, Darius hugged Ethan with a gratitude so raw that Ethan froze, unprepared for affection he didn't earn. But the story didn't end with the miracle. Because that night, while Amira recovered, a storm trapped them all inside the hospital. And in the quiet hours that followed, Ethan revealed a lonely truth about his life: he had everything except family, connection, and trust. Darius shared how he lost his wife during childbirth and vowed to raise Amira alone. Somewhere in those shared confessions, a strange connection formed between the billionaire who had everything and the father who had nothing but love. Neither noticed it growing, yet it wrapped around them both like the winter wind outside. By dawn, Ethan had promised to help Amira's long-term care, and Darius had promised to never forget the man who saved his child. But fate wasn't done tying their lives together. It was only beginning, and the next twist would change everything. Months later, sunshine replaced storms, and Amira's laughter filled rooms again. Ethan visited more often than he admitted to check on her progress. That's what he told himself, though everyone could see the truth except him. He found himself drawn to Darius's warmth, his resilience, his gentle strength that made Ethan question all he ever believed about success. Darius, too, felt something shift, but he pushed it away. Life had taught him that blessings sometimes hid storms. One evening, Ethan invited them to his company's charity gala, insisting it would help raise funds for pediatric care. Darius felt out of place among the glittering chandeliers and crystal glasses, but Ethan never left his side. They laughed, talked, and for the first time in years, Darius felt seen. Truly seen. After the gala, Ethan drove them home himself. The night air was soft, the world calm, and somewhere between the city lights and the silence, Ethan confessed softly, "You changed me. You and Amira." Darius didn't know how to reply. Emotions tangled between fear and hope. But before they could unravel it, Ethan's past returned in the most unexpected way. A former partner, someone Ethan once trusted, came forward claiming Ethan owed her a family. She twisted half-truths into scandals, accusing him of only helping Darius to use his story for profit. Headlines erupted. Cameras swarmed. Ethan's reputation trembled, and Darius found himself pulled into chaos he never asked for. One night, paparazzi caught them leaving a clinic Ethan had taken Amira to for a checkup. They twisted the story into something ugly, claiming Ethan wanted Darius only for publicity, claiming he forced Darius into a deal involving a future child for shares or power. The most painful lie, that Ethan planned to get Darius dependent on him by controlling his daughter's treatment. Darius shattered when he saw the rumors. Ethan was furious, hurt for Darius, angry at the world, and terrified of losing the only people who ever softened him. But the damage wasn't done yet. The scandal forced an investigation, and Ethan's board gave him a choice: step down, or distance himself from the single father who had become the center of the storm. Ethan refused to abandon Darius or Amira. "I'd rather lose my company than lose you," he told Darius with trembling honesty. But Darius didn't want Ethan to lose everything. He pushed him away, believing sacrifice was the only protection. Ethan fought him, telling him he didn't save Amira for anything in return, that the lies weren't real. But Darius, wounded and exhausted, chose retreat. And then, right when it seemed everything was falling apart, fate delivered the shock that tied their lives forever. Darius collapsed one morning from stress and overwork. At the hospital, doctors delivered a revelation neither man expected, one that explained months of unusual symptoms, one that would force them back into each other's lives, one that would expose the truth behind all the lies. And when Ethan rushed into that hospital, breathless and terrified, his first words shattered the silence: "Please, don't push me away again. I need you. Both of you." The journey that began with saving a dying little girl was now barreling toward a future no one could have predicted. And this time, walking away wasn't an option for either of them. Their story, of sacrifice, healing, and the strange, undeniable twist of destiny, was only just beginning.